Hello humans and welcome to this video, and today I want to talk about Centurion 1 and the Caernavorn because they have been buffed in update 8.5 and there was simply so many Black Friday stuff going on that there was no time to fit them in, and I'm not spamming videos, so here we are. Now this tank is now very interesting. 2500 DPM, it still only has 190 alpha damage unfortunately, but has 10 degrees of gun depression and also quite decent mobility for a tier 8 medium tank, which is very nice because these tier 8 medium tanks used to be, well, very horrible, and to a certain degree some of them still are. But I think this tank is now quite decent, and especially with the Centurion 7.1 and the FE4202 being really good if you're a good player, because they have hash, then I think this line can certainly be worth a look. What is, I don't think, really worth a look is, however, the Caernavorn. Unfortunately, not because it's now a bad tank, because now it has 3000 DPM, very decent armor, 225 alpha damage, which is now better than the Caernavorn Action X, which I think, in my eyes, makes it a better tank than the Action X. Because same gun depression, you have more alpha damage, you have more DPM, and the rest is pretty much the same, except for that you don't really have that much of a cupola on this tank, while the Action X does have a cupola. So I do now consider this tank to be better than the Action X. Now, the problem, though, that this tank has is that it's in a line that isn't really any desirable anymore, because the 215B, it kind of got castrated quite a lot, and it's also a very hard tank to play that I don't think is really worth going for anymore. Also, if you start at tier 5, you're going to have a very painful time if you're not a fan of slow tanks. So this is a very weird line, and I wouldn't really recommend going for it, especially because the 215B is very high skill and not very rewarding at that. So that is quite sad. But let's start off with the game in the Centurion, and let's do the Caernavorn after that. Here we go into a battle. And now, the problem that these tanks have is that they only have 190 alpha damage. Same with the Action X, because the problem is, if you're not that great of a player, if you're a very new player, you aren't going to be really that great at using Terran and all that kind of stuff. So you're probably, or most of the time, you're simply going to shoot at an enemy and they're going to shoot back. However, if you're doing 190 damage and they're doing 400, you're going to lose that, which is not very good. And the WoT is probably a zoophile or something, I don't know. But, yeah, he's a bit mad. So anyway, and he's also going to rage quit. That doesn't really make you look good, buddy. Doesn't really give you a good look there, buddy. Rage quitting because you lost is bad. Knowing you lost and then maximizing your damage, that's good. Okay, now 190 alpha damage, which means I have to shoot the guy like 3 times to break even on damage if I would decide to brawl with an object 704, which obviously isn't a good idea by any means. But that is really the biggest problem that these kind of tanks have, is that they just don't have the alpha damage to compete even with a medium tank. You do 30 damage less than a Pershing or a Pantera, and a Pantera can even cut you. So that is not very great. However, you now have 2500 DPM, which somewhat mitigates that a bit. Now, the tank still isn't amazing, but it isn't as horrible anymore as it used to be, and that is already quite a big improvement. It used to be absolutely trash, and now it's alright. And with the FE4202 up there, then this can certainly be a line that is worth going for if you're a player that already has a bit of experience at the game, certainly. Because obviously, if you're very new to the game, then I would recommend something like a heavy tank like 60 TP, and because those are simply a lot easier to play. Now, the WT is still being a bit mad, which is something that there's no point in that. Why would you be mad at people in chat? If you can see someone's a bad player, just note that mentally and then be done with it. So there's no point to rage at people. There's really no reason, no point. If you see someone playing like an idiot, then just keep it to yourself. Because that's your thing, not theirs. And at least maybe ask them, what are you doing? Something like that. Because that might even help in a way. Then they might think, wait, what am I actually doing? If you just insult them, then it's just gonna get worse, and that's not really good. So, be nice in in-game chat, but not too nice. Okay. Don't insult anyone for no reason. But yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe as well. There we go. Okay, now there's the dingus. Right there. It's the dingus now. Because imagine spending money on a camo. Huh, couldn't be me. Well, anyway, I mean, if you like the camos, sure. But to me, they don't really have any value. Okay. I speak. I can see you speak, but I can't see you making sense. So, Mr. WT, yeah. Look on scent. What about me? What am I doing? I have 10% packet loss, 130 ping, and I'm doing better than your schmucks. But yeah, as you can see, 2.6k damage. That's quite a good result for this tank. Especially with this kind of internet right now. I'm downloading a game on the side, that's why it's so bad. But yeah, you can see that it is a capable tank. 5 kills, almost 3k damage. So if you know what you're doing. I mean, obviously I can make any tank play well, but this is now quite a competitive tank again, which is quite nice. It's not good or great or anything like that, but it is certainly a very decent tank now. And that is all it needs to be for it to be worth it to grind to the FE4202. And here we go with the Caernavorn in a tier 7 battle, so it's going to be a lot easier than it was in the Centurion, but then again, I did 3k damage anyway. The Pantera is not doing something really great. I think he's stock as well from the gun, which isn't really nice to see, but it's just sad. But anyway, they don't have any mediums, which is pretty good actually, because now that means that I can just go here. If the enemy is there, I can farm them. If the enemies are over there, I can farm them, basically, and they are over there. Now the mobility of this thing is not too bad, so you can certainly make a move, and now we just simply have to get a move on and hope that the people don't steal our damage, basically. But yeah, should be not too bad. Oh, God, what is happening? Okay, here we go. Gonna open the fire, but then again, hitting is something different to actually just shooting. Now, the thing we have to watch out for, obviously, I'm alone on this side, so they might counter push me in a way, which is the thing that I definitely have to watch out for here. And there is already 5045 TP straight up looking at me. And now we're gonna have to use our 3000 DPM, which is insanely big, to kind of wreck these bitches. Nope, that bounced. Tier 7. D75 TS is moving towards the back here. Now what I have to watch out for is that AMX 5100 doesn't get too close to me, because that could be quite annoying. And now the E75 TS here, he can out-trade me, which means if he would have peeked like a normal person, rather than go out in the open, he could have easily just out-traded me, but now he's just going forward. What he should have done is just go on that wall and side-scrape off that wall. But now he's at a massive disadvantage. I have like 700 DPM more than him, and he's out in the open, doing nothing. Now here's the ammo, who's also exposing himself way too far, which means I am going to be able to out-trade him as well, because I have the more firepower, even though my alpha damage is a lot less. And that is basically how it works there. And yes. You know, at the point where you know how to predict high ping, at that point, you're bored of the game. Basically. But yeah. I can take a full clip from the ammo, which means I don't really care. Gonna maybe try to set up some kind of a side scrape, which you can do to a certain degree in this tank. But you have to have a very steep angle with it, so it's not gonna work too well. But anyway, 2.4k damage already. And now we're gonna finish him off as well, and that is 4k kills. 4 kills for me as well. Well, 4k kills, that'd be a bit too many. That would be a bit too many there. But yeah, he's probably gonna be in the line of fire here, so we're gonna somehow, hopefully, get a similar result to what we got in the Centurion. But yeah, here we go. Keep it. And 5 kills again! 2 games in a row, 5 kills. Let's go. So yeah, that is it for the Caernavorn. It is certainly a very cool tank. 2 Radley Walters in a row. Which isn't too bad, but yeah. The verdict for these 2 tanks, Centurion, is now decent. It is certainly worth grinding through on your way to the FE4202. Previously, it was kind of a roadblock. However, now it is a decent tank to go through. No objections there. The Caernavorn, on the other hand, is now, I'd say, a very good tank. However, it is held back by the line being a bit horrible around it. In terms of the whole picture, so it is probably better than the Action X now, with how it is. However, even though it's a great tank, I wouldn't really recommend the line. That is it for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.